that the institutions that are welcoming them, we are actually checking that these are true letters of verification. It was one of the first reforms that I made. So that has been able to catch a good chunk and clear instances of fraud. There was a statistic that came out a few months ago that clearly said we were able to catch clear instances of fraud, some of the most egregious, fake letters, etc. That wasn't being verified as well as it should be, and that was a shortcoming in the system that allowed some people to come here and show up with this letter, mostly unwittingly, thinking that they were going to University X, whatever it was, and it allowed bad actors to thrive. I've currently given more powers to the College of Immigration Consultants to crack down on this. This is a recent regulatory change. Those are people within Canada that are regulated. It's a little more difficult to catch instances of fraud that are occurring outside the country. Indeed, there are reports that the government of India has cracked down on one particular instance of that, and so be it, they should. Illegality is illegality, and we have to make sure that we are cracking down both internally and making sure that the conditions don't exist externally, so that we don't catch it before people come here and are duped. The cases that came up under Minister Fraser were ones that were investigated to make sure that the students involved were not complicit, and those that weren't were allowed to stay. That is a process that is, I think, largely complete. But again, these were shortcomings in the system where we saw people exploiting vulnerabilities, and mostly vulnerabilities of kids that weren't aware of the process for the most part in coming here. And I believe that largely that is caught. But I think what I've learned in the last year and a half is that we have to remain vigilant, because there are always ways to work around the system. On instances of fairness, there's a number of sources for where that perception can arise, notably in, I would say, universities and colleges have been going to one or two source countries and constantly going back to the well on that. We expect a diversity of students. It doesn't mean that Indian students aren't some of the best and brightest. Indeed, one of the largest populations in the world, you would expect students to come from India. But what I've asked universities and colleges to do is you need to put a little more effort into the price of acquisition, to use probably an expression that isn't entirely fitting, but you have to be able to invest more in the talent that you're bringing here. And that includes going to more countries and expanding your resources. And that is a message that is ongoing as universities and colleges are asked to not only rebrand, but change their pitch to attract people from around the world from different countries. There will always be students from India, there will always be students from Pakistan. That fairness and balance isn't totally up to me, but it is one that I am watching closely, because there are students that are coming from those countries that could be really important to contribute